Divine Mercy Sunday. Your soul's factory reset? Is that important? Is Divine Mercy Sunday important? I mean, after all, we just had Easter and then all of a sudden you're in Divine. I mean, does it really matter? I'm Trapper Jack. Welcome to Men's Morning Light. It just might. I was thinking, who in their right mind, what moron, if you will, in the church? And I'm sorry, but which moron was it that decided to put Divine Mercy Sunday a week after Easter, and it gets lost, right? It's suddenly you're just on it, and it's like there's no preparation. It's just, who would come up with that? Oh, it was Jesus? Sorry. And arguably, this is you could say it is the most powerful, least understood day of the year. It's true. This one day, and it's Easter. It's Easter Day, but it lasts 8 days. It's called an octave, Easter octave. So that Easter through Divine Mercy Sunday is 1 day. It's an 8-day day where Jesus just pours out this divine mercy, this ocean of divine mercy, and offers to us an opportunity to reset our souls to the factory settings. That means as the day you were originally baptized on, that day, all stain removed, all punishment removed, everything gone. You were just a pure little baby in all of this. That's what's being offered to you. So that's what we want to talk about today. We can go to St. Faustina. We can look at her. She has a huge role in all of this. St. Faustina does. Tell you about her in a second. And St. John Paul II, both from Poland. John Paul II back in 2000, when she was canonized a saint, and this day was proclaimed, Divine Mercy Sunday. He said, "This is the happiest day of my life." Imagine that. Why? He understood the power of it. He understood the message from Jesus through St. Faustina. St. Faustina, she was 33 years old when she died, and she died at that age with the wounds of Christ on her body. She was a nun. She had only about a fourth grade education. And yet, everything he said to her, and she wrote down, was all theologically correct. And he said, Faustina, didn't call her a saint just yet, but he said, "This is the image I want out there for everyone to see, this divine mercy image. Jesus, I trust in you. This is where we should each be every day. Jesus, I trust in you." And in paragraph 699 of her diary, this is what Jesus said. This is the biggie in all of this, that yes, there is forgiveness. If you go to confession, there is forgiveness of sin. And if you receive communion, yes, you get forgiveness of sin and forgiveness of punishment, all punishment. That's why it's important that this I'm sorry, this confession and communion come really close to each other, so we are in the state of grace, so we receive the factory reset. Sometime when we talk about punishment, we get forgiveness of sin, I think. I think we get that. Right? I'm sorry, he says, you're forgiven. It's the punishment part that we have arguments over whether or not there's a purgatory or not between Catholics and non-Catholics and all that. And that's for another video, another time. But to help understand this, there's the broken window scenario that's often given. You break the window, and the guy who owns the window says, "I forgive you." You still got to pay for the window. That's where you get into the purgatory or not. And it does say in Matthew's gospel, Jesus says that you will be taken before the judge, and the judge will turn you over to the guard, and the guard's going to throw you in jail, and you're going to stay there until you pay every last penny. That's what we're talking about, where that punishment, that payment it's gone. It's not there. And I have my own broken window story, and it's a true one. I was about 7, 8 years old, out in the back alley, throwing rocks at the fence, had a target, hitting it pretty good, but one of the rocks ricocheted off the fence and hit the window, the side window of the house, crack. I go into the house, Dad's in there, he heard it. "What are you, sorry." Explained it to him. Did he forgive me? Yes. Did he punish me? Yeah, I got a spanking. It was a light one, he didn't go all in. But what Jesus is offering here in Divine Mercy Sunday is the forgiveness of sin and no spanking. No spanking. That's the beauty of Divine Mercy Sunday, because it says it right there in Revelation chapter 21, I do believe. Nothing unholy, nobody unholy gets into heaven. You have stain on you, you're not getting in. Something's got to give there. There has to be something. And that, of course, is where we come about. Confession, of course, removes stain, but it's the punishment part that still may be kind of hanging on us, and why Catholics say, no, there is a purgatory, and there's plenty of biblical references to it. So we can go back and forth on that another time. But the importance of this forgiveness of sin, the importance of the forgiveness, theologians agree, is that the forgiveness of sin is greater than creation. That's an amazing statement. Forgiveness of sin is greater than creation itself, which is all around us, because that forgiveness of sin that Jesus gives us takes us right into the next life. It takes us into eternity. And this ocean of mercy, again, that Jesus is offering us on Divine Mercy Sunday. In fact, there's an ocean story here. I love this story. It has to do with, you remember Mother Angelica? She was on EWTN television. And she tells the story about this ocean of mercy where she was at the ocean. She's out in California. She's on the beach getting a great tan with that little part of her that's exposed. And she was out there and she said, I was calling the waves. What does that mean? She was just, having fun with God and nature and come and get me and splash me. And here comes this huge wave. And sure enough, she gets splashed. And she hears the voice of Jesus. And Jesus says, see that little drop of water on your hand? And she looked and said, there was. And he said, just flick that into the ocean. And she does. And he said, can you see it? And she goes, well, no. And he says, that's your sin being dropped into my ocean of mercy. That is a picture to behold. And it doesn't matter what you have done, what I have done. When we say, I'm sorry, he is mercy. He's not merciful. He is mercy. And he just automatically forgives because that's who he is. When we truly have a contrition, I forgive you. But then there's this other part too that happens on Divine Mercy Sunday, this entire clean slate that takes us back to the day of our baptism, that kind of purity. A clean slate. Oh, I have a story for that too. Clean slate. I got one for you. Here's the other analogy that God gave me just for this video. I don't know, it was a year and a half ago, I had this dream, and in the dream, I woke up to the words, clean slate. In the dream, here's what I'm seeing. I'm out on my driveway looking at the front of the house, which was deteriorating at the moment. We had some cedar wood that was disintegrating, and we knew we had to do something with it. We had a plan. And in the dream, I actually see what we had pictured as far as what we were going to do at the front of the house. And so clean slate. Okay. So the facade of the house was being taken care of in a clean slate, but I didn't realize how far God was going to go with this clean slate. It's the equivalent of, if you got a facelift, does that get you closer to God? No. What's in your soul? What's in your basement? That was the question. What's in your basement? Well, in my basement that we just took care of, the sin of my house, the sin of the foundation of my home was mold. We had mold down there, and that had to be removed. It was permeating everywhere like sin does. It goes into everything, every part of your life. So, in this analogy, we got rid of it, the sin, the mold, but up with it comes, carpeting, ceiling tile, furniture. Everything had to be sanitized for your protection, everything cleaned and all that. That's all great. But the punishment, if you will, is replacing all of that. And again, with Divine Mercy Sunday, there's no payment. We get filled, our basement gets filled with Jesus Christ, because that's what we want. Filling our foundation is to be standing on him, on Jesus Christ. And that is what he offers us. This is not a wave the magic wand, oh boy, I go to confession and go to communion and I'm all good and I can go back to where I was. No, because he knows that about us. He knows your heart. This isn't I'm going to go do this divine mercy thing, get all forgiveness back to my baptismal self, but I'm still going to go, have my affair, and I'm still going to cheat the company, and I'm still going to abuse my wife. No. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Jesus offers us something. He says it in the Bible. I make all things new. He wants to make you new. He wants to make me new. And he offers us this one day of where we say, I'm sorry, and receive communion. And we're in the state of grace. All stain is taken away. So if we got hit by that proverbial bus that day, guess what? It's heaven. All the stain's been taken away. I'm going to connect you with a link in this episode to Father Chris Alar. He's amazing. He's with the Shrine of the Divine Mercy, and he has a series called Explaining the Faith, and he explains all of this stuff. But I want to link you to him, and it's a 9-minute video on the basics of Divine Mercy Sunday. So what you didn't hear here, he is going to tell you there. But the bottom line is, in this analogy, is the mustiness in your basement gets taken away. And as springtime freshness is blowing through the house, if you will. And there is a forgiveness of sin. and there is communion. And there's this understanding, Christians, Catholics and Catholics and non-Catholics alike. This is for everybody. If you're a Catholic who can't make it to confession or communion for whatever your reason, you can still spiritually have an act of contrition and spiritually have communion. Non-Catholics, of course, an act of contrition, and I'm sorry. Welcoming Christ into your heart, absolutely a communion with Jesus Christ. That mold's going to get taken away. That stain's going to get taken away. That factory reset is going to be in place. Back to your baptismal day, absolutely. This is so key for all of us. And St. Faustina was told by Jesus, priests need to be talking about this and spreading this news. Is yours? Because this ocean of mercy is there for us every Divine Mercy Sunday, and it can get wiped out by Easter itself, and it's all the same thing. Divine Mercy Sunday is the fulfillment of Easter. It creates even more of an action, the resurrection and more, that Jesus is offering himself to us in such a special day on this one special day. So let's go to this Divine Mercy Sunday day and this image of Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for your divine mercy. You are mercy. We thank you for the forgiveness of sin. We thank you for the removal of all the stain. We thank you for what you are offering us. We thank you for St. Faustina and how you send this message through her, through St. John Paul II. This is your family. We are the body of Christ. And we thank you for this very special day and this factory reset to our baptismal day. Thanks for watching Men's Morning Light. I'm Trapper Jack. See you next week.